Monster Hunter World is one of my favorite games of all time, and they did a good job of including an interesting mix of both old monsters and new monsters. Iceborne went even further and added back several fan favorites, including two I absolutely love, Nargacuga and Glavenus. However, there are a ton of monsters from earlier games that I would like to see added to World. Here's a look at some of my personal favorites. First up, we have the Seltas Queen. This monster is interesting because it's actually a fight with two different monsters, the Seltas Queen and the Seltas Drone. The drone is fairly weak, and when by itself is not much to worry about. However, its main job is to protect the queen. During a fight with the queen, the drone will constantly be buzzing around, interrupting your attacks, and just generally making itself a giant nuisance whenever you forget to keep track of where it is. I use the greatsword a lot, and the Seltas drone loves to interrupt my charge attacks. The Seltas drone will also stay behind in an area and fight the player while the queen moves on to the next zone. This mechanic would be even better in World with its interconnected zones. A Seltas drone is large enough that it could probably stand guard and prevent the player from going through certain corridors, which would be a little more interesting than the standard let's just blindly charge after the monster gameplay we see in World. The Seltas Queen itself has a decent variety of attacks. It can attack with its tail, it has a few spitting attacks that can cause water blight, and of course, it has bulldozer mode. Watch this. It just doesn't stop. The Seltas Queen can also release pheromones that summon the drone to climb on top of the queen's shell to combine their powers, like some sort of anime mecha. Which is exactly what the Seltas armor looks like, by the way. In this mode, the drone will spit shots at you and swipe at you if you get too close. It will do this even if you manage to knock the queen down, making capitalizing on openings that much harder. While in this mode, the drone can also pick up the queen and fly it around and drop it on your head. Which kinda sucks, but it's cool. I also just really like the look of the Seltas Queen, and I love the texture work when you break the legs. That's just a good texture that I really like to see. The first time I saw it, I was like, oh, cool, I broke through the exoskeleton. It was just immediately obvious what had happened, and I like that. So, anyways, that's a little taste of what the Seltas Queen was like in Generations Ultimate. I hope it gets added to World sometime, or makes a reappearance in whatever Monster Hunter game comes after World. Also, sorry about there being no audio from the game itself in this video. I screwed up the recording and decided to just roll with it. Anyways, see you next time.